I'm actually editing the show. That's all I have to say. I'm editing the show. If you can hear this over the thing. Um, and I realized that okay. So what happened was that we didn't have the cables for the teleprompter to work because I'm doing the studio now. I'm very fancy and I hit the table. Anyway, so I had to read off my computer, which is like way below me. So you can't see my eyes like looking at the camera for the majority of the show. So it's gonna be terrible. This was not worth it, man. But anyway, this is the Nameless Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Nameless Show. This is a show, or is it? It doesn't matter. No one's watching this. Anyway, there were a bunch of Democrat primaries this week. Well, not just Democrats, but also Republicans, because equality. Anyway, the Democratic candidate for the governor's race in Florida, Andrew Gilliam, would actually be the first black governor if he beats the Republican candidate, Ron DeSantis, who was a close ally of Trump. Meanwhile, because this is Florida, the story on the front page is probably Florida man incorrectly lectures alligator about wealth inequality while eating his cousin alive for the third time in a row. Because that's actually usual news for Florida. But you probably remember Ron DeSantis from Trump's eloquent tweets of endorsement, including "Vote for Ron" in all caps and nothing else. Uh, Andrew Gilliam, the cool guy, said in a speech that Florida has an opportunity in our darkest days as a nation to remind the rest of the country through this election that all humanity is not lost. Because don't worry, guys, the humanity is not lost, just our wills to live. People are saying that the progressive Tallahassee's mayor's primary win is weird considering his progressive politics, but I think the bigger challenge he overcame was living in Tallahassee. Tallahassee, all the craziness of Florida with none of the beaches. Meanwhile, in Arizona, all the craziness of Florida, but with a less diverse racism. Martha McSally won the primary to replace one of Trump's Republican critics in the Senate, and she also beat Joe Arpaio. Fun fact: Joe Arpaio lost in his own district because committing human rights violations in the Arizona desert is somehow not as bad as admitting you'd give Trump a certain lewd act while lecturing a Shopkins doll on Who is America. Like Ron DeSantis, McSally is a close ally of Trump, but hopefully not in the same way that Ivanka is, in that McSally is not having an affair with Donald. A defining feature of this primary is that the candidates for the governors all around are generally less centrist than usual. So now instead of everyone being angry at the time all the time, everyone is angry all the time, but in a slightly different way. Another news: NAFTA. Canada scrambling to negotiate a compromise that would keep them in NAFTA after the U.S. threatened to exclude them from a deal with Mexico. Oh, jeez, what was that? uh, after the U.S. threatened to exclude them from a deal with Mexico, not Mexico. Okay, I know all of this is stupid, but how do we get in a situation where we're threatening Canada? They're Canada. They're like the world's sweet aunt who makes cookies for everyone, even though their downstairs neighbor is a person who separates children from their parents when they ask for help. Also, when did we decide that Canada was the evil Arctic country? Why are we claiming that the country literally famous for apologizing is hurting America more than the country that kills journalists and fights against us in the Syrian civil war? Oh wait, a country that supports freedom of speech and cares about the general well-being for all? Of course Trump hates Canada. He knows that gravitating towards the everyone should be represented and have a nice life ideology would have actually resulted in him not being president in the first place, despite what he says about Hillary rigging the election to lose, apparently. Economists are saying that NAFTA being ended would not actually it wouldn't cause that much damage in itself, but Trump's 25% vehicle tariff would. This reminds me of a scene in like Family Guy or some movie, whenever when someone does something stupid and it doesn't end up badly, but then they do something stupid again and then everything goes wrong. So it's like if a season 15 Peter Griffin became president, except with more racism and somehow a less healthy relationship with his children. The New York Times said that Canada sends about 3/4 of its exports to the U.S. So Trudeau, the better version of everything, his hand is quite limited, meaning that instead of just saying the harsh, oh, sorry, like, all he can do is say, oh, I'm so sorry, please have some maple syrup on a stick in snow and some poutine made by a different Canadian saying sorry, which is still equally harsh for a Canadian. Pope Francis is being called to resign after he condemned sexual abuse in the Catholic Church, but because he said he wouldn't comment on whether he knew about the abuse before it came to light. So basically, everyone was angry before, and now they're angry in a different way. What? That's the same joke from earlier? It's weird, though. People who are way more conservative than the Pope and who are already angry at him for saying that pets can go to heaven and gay people exist or whatever thing they're angry about. Now they're angry at him for knowing of abuse in the church. But these are the same people that said nothing about other priests who actually did the abuse. That's like finding out an employee at McDonald's was molesting the fries and then not getting angry at him, but getting angry at the manager. Like, obviously we should be mad at the manager for hiring the guy in the first place, but the employee did a much worse thing. There's also a second group of people who are angry at the Pope for not doing enough, and are also angry at the people who did the stuff. So I actually understand these people. Their arguments actually make sense, but isn't condemning abuse a good thing no matter the circumstances? Like, it's not like he saw people abusing their power to abuse innocent people. I mean, speaking of the Trump administration, Trump is saying that Google has been discriminating against conservative news in Google searches because when he searches his name, like the very humble person he is, because all the news was very biased against him, and from fake news like the New York Times and CNN. Yeah, guys, why aren't you showing the real news from time-honored news sources like Patriot News, Real America.ru/We Are Russian, founded somehow in 2019 by a Chechnyan death metal group with a sassy Armenian grandma hype man? I think Trump doesn't understand the difference between fair news and neutral news. Like, just because the news is bad doesn't mean it's unfair. Like, it's not like people get angry at the news if the news sources are talking about a serial killer doing bad stuff. Like, hopefully no one wants a pro serial killer newspaper. Actually, this just in: Serial Killer Weekly has made Trump the Fifth Avenue murderer of the month to his dedication to the art of standing on Fifth Avenue and shooting someone and getting away with it and winning a presidential election. If you're watching this, Donald, you can pick up your prize in jail with Michael Cohen and Paul Manafort. Anyway, this is the Nameless Show. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're at a desk, which we were before. I know how, like, before we were here in the cool place, I was in my house, I would stand and then I would sit down. But now I'm just sitting down because I'm lazy. Anyway, this is a new segment on the show. It's called Things That Have Probably Happened. First thing, all the Pixar animators having a synchronized panic attack after having to animate the pores opening slightly faster on every single character in a stadium scene for the next Incredibles movie. Walt Disney's frozen head shaking at the previous joke. Next one, Fidel Castro actually being a Cuban cigar turned into a real boy like a communist Pinocchio. Psychopaths joining NASA just to tell people every other week that an asteroid is going to kill everyone on Earth. Someone complaining that Chick-fil-A has too good of service. Mark Zuckerberg admitting that Facebook is meant for a minion meme posting ants and no one else, while he molts his human suit of the day to reveal his true lizard self. People openly planning a coup, but no one realizing it because they did it on MySpace. Playing all the Drake songs ever made at the same time, and it sounding like nothing at all. Playing all the Migos songs ever made, and it sounding like nothing at all, but still worse somehow. Saudi Arabian woman actually secretly being a society of ninjas. Elon Musk tripping on LSD and accidentally making a new company that will also go bankrupt soon. Anyway, that's been Things I Don't Trust. Now it's time for a different thing that I read things incorrectly because I cannot read. That was things that have probably happened. Now it is time for things I don't trust, because every bit I have to do has to involve the word things, because creativity, whatever. Things I don't trust. I don't trust the Saudi Arabian relationship. The United States-Saudi Arabian relationship, because I don't trust the relationship America has with Saudi Arabia. It's really weird, like, because America has long been the champion of free speech and freedom in general, from slavery to segregation. Oh wait, Never mind. But anyway, we still act like the morality police of the world by planting the seeds of democracy in the same way that, you know, like farmers burn everything to start over for the next harvest, but like at least they actually do plant seeds. But seriously, how can we call ourselves the greatest country in the world when we're basing our political alliances on a desert-based monarchy that is starving Yemen and treats women like second-class citizens? I mean, aside from the second part being the South and Donald Trump's dream country, our country doesn't usually hurt our own allies, and we did that recently in Yemen. We literally bombed civilians in Yemen, which is our ally, as I mentioned before. That's crazy. And we didn't do it because Donald wanted to see what it would be like to bomb the expletive out of brown people, or at least I hope that's not what he did it. That's why he did it. No, we we did it for the compressed dead dinosaur liquids in Saudi Arabia because the only thing more American than driving a Hummer is indirectly violating human rights for the sake of money. So we have to fix this somehow. Like, one way is that we can cut ties with Saudi Arabia and start veering away from fossil fuels by investing in trains and public transportation and renewable sources of energy. But that's too normal for America. We're America. We need to do something that ruins everything for everyone. I say that we do it the American way, and we take the money to fund human rights violations, but we also use some of it to perform human rights violations on the government officials making these decisions. Because once Trump can no longer avoid working 4 half-day weeks in Mar-a-Lago, we all realize that option 1 was better. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is The Nameless Show. Alright, everyone, welcome to The Nameless Show. This is a show. Or is it? No one's watching this, it doesn't matter. Anyway, here I am with my guest, Anjali Madala. She's my cousin, if you can't tell by the last name. So today, we're going to talk about the school system, because you are a part of that.
Yes.
What is the biggest thing that is wrong with schools, in your opinion?
The students.
The students are the things that are wrong with schools?
Yeah, probably.
What does that mean?
Some of them are mean.
Well, I mean, yeah, but, like, people in general can be mean, too.
Yeah.
So, what about, like, just, like, schools in general, not including the students? What's...
Non-purified water.
Non-purified water. I did not expect that. I thought you would say too much homework or something.
No, I like homework.
You like homework? This is a weird conversation. I did not expect to have this conversation. This is the first in my many non-interviews I've had. Non-purified water.
Yeah.
Why is that a problem?
They're little rock pebbles, or like bees, or little insects.
What? You have rock pebbles in your water?
Yeah.
What kind of water are you drinking?
Non-purified water.
Wait, so you're just drinking like raw, straight water from like a creek or something?
I don't know. I really
what
don't.
What do you mean raw water?
Rock.
Rock water.
Yeah, like
you find pebbles in your water.
In my water.
What kind of school is this?
I do not know where they get their water from, but the middle school water is so much better.
Have you been in middle school?
Yes.
You're in 5th grade now, right? So
yeah.
Next year you're going to middle school.
Yeah.
That's going to be terrible for different reasons. No, I'm kidding. You'll be fine. You're smart. But so what? I'm so confused. What kind of school has water that has rocks in it? Like, is it like the water fountain water, or like the water they serve you like lunch or something?
Water fountain water.
Oh, that's always nasty. Is it like white?
No.
It's
clear, but then we see like little rock pebbles and like insects and.
You have insects in your. This sounds horrible.
It is.
Now I understand why it's a problem. Remember one time in my school, I was about your age. They were working on this concrete patch right next to the water fountain, and it seeped into the water. So when you press the water, it there's like black. It was just like black water coming out.
Ew.
Yeah, but we didn't have to deal with that on a daily basis. You have to deal with pebble water on a daily basis. This is a struggle.
Not really.
Are you excited to go to middle school?
Yes.
Why?
The water.
You're only the water, nothing else. You're not excited
biology.
about having biology. Biology is fun. You want to be a doctor when you grow up?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. That's a very nice response. Your mom's a dentist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to be a dentist or No.
I'm not sure yet.
You're not sure? Your favorite science is biology.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite subject besides science? Let's say that.
Literature. History.
History or literature.
History and literature.
This is a Renaissance woman here. She is. You know what a Renaissance woman is?
Yes.
Yeah. You're yeah. That applies. You do it all.
Mhm.
What do you do for fun? What does a major celebrity like you do for fun?
Read.
You read for fun.
Yeah.
That's very cool. What's your favorite book?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure what your favorite book is.
Yeah.
Last thing you read that you really liked.
Harry Potter.
Which one? All of them? Or just Prisoner of Azkaban or something? Or
The Chamber of Secrets.
Chamber of Secrets. Yeah, that's a good one. You like the movies or the books better?
The books.
Have you seen all the movies?
Yeah.
Why?
Don't know.
You like? I'm guessing you like Hermione, right? You're like Hermione.
Sure.
What's your favorite character then?
Hermione.
Of course, I knew it. Take that, America. No one's watching this. It doesn't matter. I can say whatever I want.
Okay.
Are you excited to be on a talk show, or are you nervous?
Nothing.
You feel nothing.
Yeah.
That's the sign of a psychopath. Are you a psychopath?
No.
That was too quick of an answer. I think you're lying.
No.
How do I know you're not lying? Look over your face. How do I know you're not lying? How dare you? How do I know you're not lying about being a psychopath?
'Cause I'm a kid.
How do I know you're not a very small adult?
Do I sound like an adult?
You could be doing an accent.
Do I have an accent?
You could be an adult from like Siberia or something, doing an accent and dressing as an Indian child. Is that you? Are you a Siberian woman in disguise?
Are you sure that technology is real yet?
It can if you want it to be. I'm teaching the children here. This is very important stuff. So we're talking about the school system. Anything else besides purified water? Like anything about like academically that you want to change about your
Books.
Books. You want more books?
No.
Less books.
No.
Smaller books.
Neater books. There's
Neater.
only like rips and like writing in it.
That's always bad. I remember I actually one of my textbooks like an entire section was just ripped out, so there's like a weird hole in it.
Oh.
What about you? What do you have in that? Like it's like just like general rips and tears.
Literature. The anthology book.
What about the anthology book?
Cornerstone anthology.
Like, why is it ripped and torn? Or what about
people
it?
just rip it like for fun and like.
People rip books for fun. Okay, your school has rocks in your water,
Yeah.
and people ripping books for fun. This sounds like a mental asylum.
Not really.
Not really.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Lunch is fine.
Now you ruined my joke. No, I'm kidding. So, non-purified water.
Yeah.
Would you use non-purified water to fix your books?
No.
Why not?
Because then the whole book would be ruined. And there are some pages that are actually good.
So the 95% of the pages are bad then?
No, like 30% of the pages are bad.
Oh wow, that's actually more than I thought. I'd say like 5% or like none. I love all literature, but no, you hate 30% of the book.
No, like 30% of the book is. Yeah.
Man, this got really depressing really quickly. You first talk about your hatred of non-purified water, then you're talking about your hatred of literature, but also
I like
you like literature, but you hate the literature you have to read
Some
in school. Some stories. Like, what's a story you hate?
I don't get some stories.
Like what?
Like a boy, he's just walking down the street. He buys a popsicle for his friend. It melted. Done.
That's a story?
That's a story.
That's horrible. Why are you guys reading that?
I have no idea.
I remember one time we had to read a book called The Hatchet. Don't read that book. It's a terrible book. Audience who's not watching. Anyway, in one scene, basically there's a guy and he crashes in the wilderness and he has to survive. One scene is literally he wakes up, he crawls out of his tent, he vomits, and then he goes back to sleep. That's an entire chapter, but it's told in like 30 pages. Isn't that hilarious? But we had to read that for some reading, and we had to write an essay about it.
What did you write?
I don't remember. All I remember is like, this is bad, but I can't say it's bad because then I'll get a bad grade. I use the word bad too many times in that sentence.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? you like writing essays? You have to do that? Yeah, or not really?
Yeah, we have to.
Like, what kind of essays do you write?
This year we have to do a DAR essay.
DAR. What is that?
Daughters of the American Revolution.
Oh, that's actually cool.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna talk about besides, like, specifically?
I have no idea.
What's it do?
Somewhere in September.
It's September today. It's September 1st.
Somewhere in September.
That's basically. Have you heard that song September?
No.
No, it's like. Never mind. It's like a 70s. Just you're too young. I'm too young. How do I know this? I'm a weird child.
Are you even a child?
Oh, I guess I'm like I'm 15, which is like just like a large child or a small adult. So I don't. I'm just awkward.
You're a small adult.
Why not?
You're a teenager or something.
Yeah. So I'm like somewhere in between large child and small adult.
Samantha's an adult.
Yeah, she is. That's my sister. She's
An adult.
She's 20. She's gonna be 21 in like a month or a little bit more than a month.
But she looks like a teenager.
Is that? Did he just diss my sister?
No.
Is that a compliment or a diss?
It's a compliment.
Why is it a compliment?
I don't know.
Are you saying that she looks
She
too
looks
young?
young.
Are you saying she looks too young?
No.
This is an interrogation. You're under arrest for insulting my sister. Prepare to die.
She's my sister too.
Well, she's your cousin sister.
My cousin sister.
It's an Indian thing. Don't worry. We have to explain it to all the people who aren't watching.
Explain what?
Just nothing. It doesn't matter. No one's. It's
You know.
I like that shirt. Where do you get it from? What does it say? Make it happy. Make it harpy. Make it happen. I cannot read. Why do you get that?
Because it looked cool.
Yeah.
And my mom liked it.
Okay. Now finally, for the ultimate question. And that's the question.
Okay.
What's your answer?
What was the question? That's another question.
This is the question. There's the question.
Okay.
Now,
My answer is. What was the question?
That was a very good response. Thank you for watching the Nameless Show. We'll be back next week. Bye.
Nameless Show.